I'm like, how are they doing this? It has to be, it's not an ethical issue, even though Eric Trump, somebody wrote him a script, so he said it's a conflict of interest. It's not a conflict of interest. The Trump organization and the Trump administration are two different things, aren't they? Maybe they're not. Let's leave that for another hot take. So it's not ethics. It may be a business conflict. And I thought, okay, Trump's letting him, unless nobody told Daddy that Quinn Emanuel jumped off sides in the Abrego Garcia case. I thought, all right, well, maybe there's a deal, like a handshake deal, not to, because it was publicly announced. We'll put it up on the screen. When Quinn Emanuel and Bill Burke became the ethics counsel, they issued a white paper. We're the ethics counsel. Okay. And there's a reason that the Bill Burkes of the world and Quinn Emanuel's get hired is because it gives sort of instant credibility and imprimatur of like a halo effect around an organization. It protects them because their brand is extended to your brand, even a brand that's really damaged like the Trump organization. That's why you hire a person like that. So I kind of understood that. I said, well, maybe they have a deal. Maybe it's in writing. You will not move to disqualify us or attack us or put us on the list. Because Donald Trump has a shit list. He has a blacklist that he does by executive order. I'm not sure Quinn Emanuel's out of the woods yet, but the social media post today, which I'm going to read to you in a minute, didn't help. So all of a sudden, it goes from Abrego Garcia without Bill Burke on it to Bill Burke writing letters on behalf of Harvard. We saw last week, there was this letter written on the 3rd and 11th of April from the Trump administration people. And they were like, unless you totally reform your entire institution from leadership to student scholarship, to student admission, to faculties, members and all of that, unless you do all of that within 4 months, we're cutting off anywhere between $6 and $60 million of federal funding, which goes for their research and development and things that help Americans, like medical breakthroughs and technology breakthroughs and cancer breakthroughs. That stuff that we like. So anyway, those letters go out, and then Harvard appears on letterhead with Quinn Emanuel, signed by Bill Burke. I'm like, oh, the worm is turning. And another law firm in Atlanta, Alston and Bird, and they send those letters in. And it's diplomatic, but it's still in the style of a trial lawyer. We cannot, it's unconstitutional. We are the forefront. We're the oldest university in America, that kind of thing. And I thought, this is getting interesting. And then the Trump administration, a week later, says, oops, the dog ate my Harvard. They should have sent that letter and they should have called us. And the lawyers are committing malpractice for Harvard because they didn't call us when they got the letter and ask us if it was real or not. Like, if it's real, it was on triple letterhead for 3 different departments in the Trump administration, signed by 3 different people at the level of like acting director or associate or general counsel or above. Like, what was Harvard to think? So Harvard waited around, and then the Trump administration starts going after them again. Oh, you took in foreign donations. Let's look at your bookkeeping based on that. Oh, you're letting in foreign students. Let's see all your applications related to the foreign students. Oh, we're going to withhold another $1 million, or $1 billion. And so we had all that going on, and the Harvard said, screw it. And so they had to, as the president of Harvard, Mr. Garber, who's Jewish, said, we have to file. And they filed. And not only did Quinn Emanuel and Burke file, but he went out and got Robert Hur, Harvard class of 95, to sue along with him. Now, he didn't need Robert Hur, but he wanted a Harvard person there. And he wanted a Trump-affiliated Harvard person there. Now, Trump used to like Robert Hur, right? Just like he liked Bill Burke until today, because he hired him. Because Robert Hur went after Joe Biden with a 300-page special report, calling him a doddering old man, senile old man, effectively, and that killed any chances for Joe Biden to continue to run. Now we got that lawsuit. And I'm like, they filed a lawsuit. I did a whole hot take on it. They filed a lawsuit, and they're still not firing Bill Burke. And now we finally have it. So here, Donald Trump, after having the Easter meltdown that we've covered, had a Thursday Easter after week meltdown. And here's what he said about the Harvard case and going after Harvard again. Harvard is anti-Semitic. I can't tell you how many Jews go there currently, are on faculty or in the president's office, and graduated from there at law school and undergraduate. Just to remind everybody that 4 out of the 9 4 out of the 9 current Supreme Court justices have a Harvard affiliation. Kagan was the dean of the law school. Roberts went there. Gorsuch went there. And Ketanji Brown Jackson went there. And Roberts and Ketanji Brown Jackson were double crimson. They both went undergraduate and law. So this is not. But let me continue with crazy town. It's an anti-Semitic far left institution, as are numerous others, with students being accepted from all over the world that want to rip our country apart. I think that's doing a disservice to the undergraduate and graduate body there, don't you think? The place is a liberal mess, allowing a certain group of crazed lunatics to enter and exit the classroom and spew fake anger and hate. It's truly horrific, and they act like they're American apple pie. I think the phrase is they're as American as apple pie, but they'll continue. Wait till you get to the threat against his current lawyer, now former lawyer. Harvard is a threat to democracy. Harvard's the threat to democracy? With a lawyer, here it comes, get ready, with a lawyer who represents me, Trump Organization, who should therefore be forced to resign immediately or be fired. He's not that good anyway, and I hope that my very big and beautiful company, now run by my sons, gets rid of him ASAP. Immediately thereafter, the Trump Organization fired Bill Burke and Quinn Emanuel. And with Eric Fredo Trump saying, I view it as a conflict and I'll be moving in a different direction. Yeah, to a less competent lawyer that wants to represent the Trump Organization for its ethics advice. Good luck. Good luck. So we now have, and I don't know, you want to fire up Quinn Emanuel to take on more of your cases? I have a feeling that Bill Burke was a little bit, I don't want to take every case against the Trump administration. I'm going to pick and choose, Abrego Garcia, that's going to be front page. That's about constitutional liberty. I feel strongly about that. Or Harvard, okay, they're getting abused. But now, if I'm Quinn Emanuel, based on that, I take on every cause and I volunteer my services for every case, all 150 that are pending before the various courts against the Trump administration, Trump Organization, and I'm sorry, Trump administration. You see, I get them confused because Trump gets them confused. That's what I would do. Now, Bill Burke may not do that because he is, even though Donald Trump, he's not that good of a lawyer. Really? You're in the habit of hiring not that very good lawyers for important things like ethics advice? Trump doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. He just says anything out loud. There's no continuity of thought. There's no, there's no executive function. There's nothing. This is what we're watching. So I guess the end of this reporting is as follows. This is only going to redouble the effort of Quinn Emanuel and lawyers like Bill Burke to bring down a lawless president. If I were him, I would have kept him on the payroll at the Trump Organization, hoping that would tether him a little bit, restrain him a little bit, cabin him a little bit, against taking other cases. I mean, they only took 2. You have 130 against you. They could take more, and now they have the capacity to take more. The only thing that'll stop them from doing that is if they're worried about being put on a blacklist the way that Perkins Coie was, which is going to have a preliminary injunction in their favor soon, or Jenner Block, or Wilmer Hale, or the rest. I don't think, of all the firms that are out there, I would bet my last dollar that Quinn Emanuel doesn't care about the blacklist and probably welcomes it as a badge of honor and will not back down to the Trump administration. If any firm is not going to back down, it's going to be, they are the infantry. They are the first in. They are the Navy SEALs for law firms and trial work. They really are. If I had a major bet the company, my liberty was at stake, I'd hire a firm like Quinn Emanuel in a moment. So we'll continue to follow it all right here on the Midas Touch Network. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popuk for Legal AF. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.